Hello, here's the video to show you how to calculate how many days between two dates. Now, there's two ways of doing this. Excel does recognize dates as numbers, so you can just go one minus the other one or whatever the case might be, which will give you the number of days. So that's fairly straightforward. I'll show you how to do that. But then there's also a situation where actually you go, well, hold on a second, this is for work, and I don't want to include Saturdays and Sundays, or I don't want to include bank holidays, or whatever the case might be. And you need to obviously be a little bit more flexible to be able to create working days. So I want to show you those two formulas. I want to show you something that you need to be aware of when calculating these two. There's another video that goes kind of with this. Instead of showing the days between the two dates, you put in the start date and the number of days, and it shows you which date you're looking at. And both of these require a little bit of concentration just to understand what is it you're looking for. So let me show you the two options. If you want to start on the 10th of January 2022 into the 14th, you want to know how many days between those two dates. What you can do is you can just simply say for all days equals that date minus that date, voila, 4. Now, what you've got to bear in mind is that 4 is basically saying from the 10th to the 11th is 1 day, to the 12th is 2 days, to the 13th is 3 days, and to the 14th is 4 days. So that's 4 days. So if you start on the 10th and you went over to the 11th, that would be 1 day. However, working days actually includes the first day. So you need to obviously be aware of it. And this is where it comes in. When you look at some of these formulas, sometimes they include the first day, other times they only start counting from the following day. So the best advice I can give is actually do this test when you're doing these formulas, do the test for a very short period of time, actually open up the calendar, have a look, see, is that correct? Do you want it to include the first day or don't you? Because sometimes if a project starts on the 10th and ends on the 10th, do you want that to have taken 0 days or do you want it to have taken 1 day? You need to just make sure which one you want, and then you need to adjust it accordingly. Because if I use the workdays function, so what I want to do is I want to know how many working days there are between those two, and that is the net work days. So if I start typing net work days, open the brackets, it says where's the start date? That's the start date. It says where is the end date? That's the end date. And it asks for holidays, bank holidays, public holidays, whatever you call them. And I've got a list here for that year. So I'm going to simply select those, lock down the cell references, and close the brackets. Now it says 5 days. So why does one say 4 and one say 5? Because I deliberately put in a Monday to Friday. Well, the reason it says 5 is because the working days is adding in, the working days is starting the countdown from the other day. So for example, what it's doing is it's actually counting the 10th. It's going, well, the 10th is day 1, the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, which means that's 5 days. So what you just need to do here, if you wanted only to start counting from the 11th, you just have to come to the end of this formula and just put in a -1. And then it will convert to a date. You can just format back to general again. And now you've got the 4, which is the exact same. So those two are working correctly Monday to Friday. But now, if I put in, for example, 1st of January to the, let's just say 10th of June, for example, you can see 160 days, but 109 working days. So you've got that difference. It excludes all these dates plus weekends. So you can calculate how many days between two dates. So this is all useful for project management and tracking dates and all those kind of things as to how long things have taken. So those are the two formulas. Just as I said, do it an example whenever you're working between two dates. Do an example, which is a Monday to Friday, where you know there are no public holidays or bank holidays in that week, and just make sure it's giving you the right value, because sometimes, as I said, it includes the first day and sometimes it doesn't. You just have to make sure which one you're doing. So that's the one to calculate between two dates. Do have a look at the other video if this has been useful to you as to how to actually do it the other way around. So give it a start date and tell it how many days and work out what the end date is. There's another video for that. So yeah, I hope that helps. Thank you very much.